Who's ready for the weekly bust? You're in the right place if you came to catch the show. Tithe and Levi are the names of your host. Who the next guest is, I really wanna know. Conversation escalating, let's get to the show. Who's ready for the weekly bust?
Gonna go. I'm leading us in. So today we are joining the weekly bus, and we are being gifted some time by the most recognized fighter in BKFC and probably all of Bare Knuckle in the entire world. There's very few men that have done what he has done, and he goes by the name Luis Baboon Palomino. Oh, hopefully we don't lose connection this time, my man. How are you?
Good, man. Thank you for having me, man. Ready to go.
Absolutely.
How are you?
We're honored to have you, man. We're honored to have you.
Thank you for joining us on this lovely Monday. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Also known to me as first day of Broncos football, baby. Let's go.
Let's go, Broncos.
Go Broncos.
Do you watch any football?
Not much.
No. Most fighters don't watch anything but fighting, it seems like.
Yeah, exactly.
Christine says, I watch YouTube fights, bro. That's it.
That's
like
Ryan Perez. Ryan Perez is like, all I watch is boxing.
Yep, he said no other fights, just boxing. I was like, well, hey.
So for those who don't know, who are you, my man? You want to give us a briefing? Break it down on who you are?
Yes, Luis Palomino, but everybody knows me as Baboon. Baboon is my cage name, now my square circle name. That's what everybody calls me, Baboon, which I adopted a name when I was about 15 years old from a capoeira group. See, as the Baboon was the logo of the group, so they named me after the logo. You know what I mean? I was the best one in the group. They named me after the logo, and then I just ran off with the name. I kept it, and when I went to the MMA world.
Hey, it's working for you. It's awesome.
So what brought you into the fight world?
Sorry, guys. Hold on.
It's all good.
You're good, man.
Yeah, there's a call coming in. I'm trying to avoid, but I don't want to hang up on you guys. So just ignore it.
I'll re-ask you. What brought you to the fight world? Who was the first person that introduced you, or what drew your interest?
Man, that's a good question. I mean, I started out boxing in California at the age of 10, and I like to say that's where my passion for fighting started at the age of 10. Mm-hmm. My father was taking my brother to the boxing gym, but I was a very scrawny kid. You know, my brother looked like a bodybuilder since the age of 14. You know, he got all the good genes of the family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't get those genes. I had to bust my ass to make a bicep different from a tricep. You know?
Yeah.
It took me years, and I didn't start lifting weights until the age of 20. So I started late. You know, but my dad takes my brother to the boxing gym. I asked, can I join? And I joined, and I said, yeah, of course, let's go. Now we went over there. My brother lasted about 2 weeks. I lasted 3 years until we moved to Miami, and there was no more boxing gyms in Miami, so there was a lot of street fighting going on. So that's where the bare knuckle days started.
Sounds like Great Falls.
It does sound a lot like Montana, Great Falls style too. You're not lying though. Miami does have that the felony fights background, and you know they got the Kimball Slices that came out of the Jorge came out of there. So you know,
bum fights is out of Florida too.
That's 100% real. You know, he's not saying what he's saying by that is truth. Other than I guess boxing, what is your absolute base then? Because you said MMA cage as well, right?
Yeah. So from boxing, you know, I only boxed for 3 years. I only boxed 10 to 13, and then I came to Miami, and the gang activity was ridiculous here. We're talking about 26 years back. You know.
Okay.
The gang activity here was ridiculous. You know, it was really bad. It was no joke. You know what I mean? And my mom didn't allow for me to go and take 3 buses to get to a boxing gym, which was the nearest one to me.
Sure.
You know, so that ended up with me fighting in the street a lot. You know, angry at life, of course. You know, my father just went to prison. You know, we just moved from California to Miami. You know, we're the new guys, the new people. You know, we moved from a 2-story house, you know, with a rug over it to a 1-bedroom apartment. The entire family. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it was a humble beginning, you know, humble start all over
I
again.
always love those stories, man.
Yeah, you know, it was tough. It was tough for moms. It was tough for the siblings, you know. And I couldn't find a boxing gym. So I ended up running into somebody, a friend of mine named Mickey, and he used to do capoeira, Brazilian martial arts. So
Okay.
to answer the question, you know, I really started off in capoeira. I did it longer than boxing. Boxing I only did box 3 years. I did capoeira for about 13 years. I'm a certified professor, and I can speak fluent Portuguese thanks to capoeira. I never studied a day of Portuguese, but I can speak
Crazy.
fluent Portuguese
You
from
picked it up?
anybody, with anybody, any part of Brazil I can speak to. You know what I
You
mean?
picked it up?
And I picked that up. I picked that up training with them. You know, I became a professor, a certified professor. I had my own groups, and I got tired of street fighting. You know, I used to always fight, and I got tired of causing my mom pain. You know, so then I spoke to one of my trainers. Right, I had changed this. You know, it's called master. You know, in English it's called master, right? So
Yeah.
instead of sensei and stuff like that, you know, they call it master in Portuguese, mastery. So my first master, Master Delay, which was the owner and the creator of Abolition, I had met him when my other master was in Thailand recording a movie with Van Damme called The Quest. So
Okay.
Miki brought me to Master Cesar. Master Cesar wasn't there. He was in Thailand filming a movie with Van Damme. He's on the cover of the movie The Quest, right?
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
And
With Van
with
Damme,
Van
right?
Damme, yes. Van
Wow.
Damme and him at the cover of the
Actually,
movie.
This guy.
quick recap. Our mom did 21andMe and actually got linked to Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Not only that,
Oh, look at
your
that.
your dad. So me and this guy are brothers, but we're half blood. His father, is auntie is married to John Claude, or was. I don't know if they are anymore, but yeah. So there's a connection.
Oh,
there.
that's
Yeah,
dope.
Yeah.
connection there.
That's dope.
Yeah, dude.
Small world.
Um,
Yeah, so he went over there. I didn't get to meet Master Cesar, so Master Delay was there.
Uh-huh.
So I started with Master Delay, and Master Delay tells me I trained with him for 6 months, right? And 6 months later, he tells me, "Look, Master Cesar's coming back to South Beach, so I'm gonna be leaving this group that I was teaching for him, and I'm gonna start my own group that's called Abolition, and the logo was the baboon, right?"
See?
And he told me, "Look, you know, I know you came here looking for him, so you can continue training with him." And I told him, "Nah, man, I started training with you 6 months ago, and my loyalty is to stay with you because I started with you. It doesn't matter who I came looking for." So I continued training with him, yeah, for 8 years, and then we broke off. You know, we had a differences 8 years later, and I ended up starting to train again with Master Cesar, who I was supposed to start from the beginning.
Oh, wow.
So he was the one that, you know, I got tired of fighting, and I told him, "Look, man, you know, I'm seeing people fighting in the cage. I'd rather do that professionally than street fighting." And he says, "Well, you got to do jujitsu." So he took me to George Pareda. George Pareda was the UFC like back in the days, you know?
Yep.
And George Pareda is the guy that started Real Heroes. You ever seen that Bare Knuckle crazy fights? It was Bare Knuckle MMA.
Hey,
YouTube in a group big, real fast. It's called Real Heroes. He's nuts. So Josh Pareda, Josh Pareda trained me, and I became a blue belt under him, and I did my debut of MMA from then on. So I trained for 6 months, 8 months, and I did my professional debut without any amateur fights.
Oh,
that was the beginning of everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jumped right in. Actually,
right into the mix, man. There wasn't even weight classes for me here. Like 145, 155 wasn't nothing here.
Right.
You know, like I went straight to fight at 170, weighing 165.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Do you know who you can remind me of, you know, culturally, and how you are viewed within the community of this fight community? You remind me a lot of Pacquiao, dude.
Pacquiao is one of my heroes.
Yeah, I'm not kidding you. You're
the way that people like gravitate towards you.
Yeah, the way you have star power with your people, and you're also very humble, and you also give it back to it, and you're also very professional, like as a person. Like I done quite a bit of research on you leading up to this interview, and I just noticed.
Shout out to you.
I noticed your professionalism, and I really want to salute that, man. I'm sorry about my voice. I lost it the other night
Thank you,
at the
man.
fights. We got one.
I hear you fine. I hear you fine. You're good.
Yeah.
Did you watch the fights Saturday?
Which ones?
The BKFC 29.
29.
Oh, hell yeah. I watched the whole show.
Who was your favorite fight?
Good fights. Good fights, yeah.
Yeah, who was your favorite fight? What was your fight?
My favorite for that night, man, I don't want to pick a favorite because, look, the champ, Brinhart looked awesome, man. She looked
She was throwing
so much better. She has such an improvement, you know, like she's grown. You know, she's literally grown, you know,
Siggy's
and
no
she
joke.
looked good. You know, I don't want to pick just one. She is a champion, and she did awesome, but I don't want to say that Jenny Savage didn't look good, too. Jenny Savage looked nasty, man, when that knockout.
I was on the
left-
sidelines, and you can hear me
That
scream.
left came out of nowhere, you know what I mean?
You can hear me scream on the sidelines. I said, yo, knock her out, Jenny. 2 minutes later, or 2 seconds later, man, it just poof.
Nasty, man, nasty,
Yeah,
nasty.
you could hear it on the broadcast because I've watched the first half of that so far over again yesterday.
Yeah,
And you hear Ty, knock her out, Jenny. And then she throws that hard left. Bang!
boom.
Yeah, those were my two favorite fights that, you know, that are still in my mind fresh, you know?
They were good, man. The girls balled,
Yeah.
dude. And they were really
Yeah.
sweethearts. I mean, Britt's always so cool to be around, and Joey's really cool to be around.
She brings a fight, man. She comes to fight, you know?
She does,
Oh,
man.
yeah,
She has a heart of a lion, man.
Brought that heat with her for sure. 100%.
Yes, sir.
So what is all your earlier fight promotions that you've been in?
Yeah, who have you all fought for? Like, what leagues?
Man, I fought in so many shows. Look, I hold 4 titles in 4 different organizations, man. Like,
Oh,
wow.
I fought, like, you know, all this. I was like in a belt hunt back in the days. Like, I wasn't getting into UFC. Like, there wasn't tryouts like you have today. You know what I mean? Like, and if they had a tryout, I was already booked for a fight. Like, it never happened, you know? So then I said, okay, what do you need? You need me to be a champion? So I went on a streak of just collecting belts, and I was just attacking everybody. You know, I remember having a fight in Connecticut, which was my first fight, and I fight this guy that was like the name of the Bobcat, right? He was 5-0, and I knocked him out like in 38 seconds, and I booked a fight the following week. So I flew to Connecticut. I fought him. I came back to Miami. I fought a week later, you know, and that fight earned me a title shot there too. And I flew back because that fight had earned me a title shot over there, and I beat the champ, right? I took his belt. And then I came back and fought an XFC for another belt. Like I was all over the place. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't telling promoters anything. I was like, yeah, sign me up, and I would just show up. You know, just collecting belts. So I ended up becoming champion 4 times. Twice in 155 pounds and twice in 145 in 4 different organizations.
I mean, look at behind him. If you guys can, anybody that watches, just look at it.
Got the collection, man. I got the collection.
Got 2 whole racks of belts.
Unreal, man. Your accolades are unreal. When I first started following you, I was like, this is fucking crazy, dude. Is anybody gonna stop this guy or not, dude? It's insane, dude. Your run is so awesome, dude. It's I just had a fucking question that you were just discussing on. But every time I look in the background, I see your banner, and it reminds me of Gervonta Davis for some reason. It just looks similar. And the boxing, we have a huge boxing match that's coming up with Triple G and Canelo. Do you got a favorite in that?
Oof.
Oh, that's gonna be a banger. Saturday.
Oh man, let me tell you, I'm a fan of both. Like, that's why I don't like picking sides too much. I'm a fan of both. I'm a big fan of Triple G. But
I think Triple G got
Canelo's. I think that Canelo right now is in a place mentally, like especially coming off that loss.
Yeah, with Bevo.
He dared to be great, man. You know, like people. Yeah, I can see the people commentating dumb shit. Like this dude went from 54, skips 60 something, and goes to 70 something. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You know, and okay, he failed in a decision. Wow, big deal. You know.
Yeah,
but you know
we watched that.
He dared to be great. You know, I think that mentally and having, you know, those 2 fights with Triple G already in that experience, I think he comes back to finish. I think he's gonna stop Triple G, man. in this
Really?
trilogy.
He's gonna finish.
I think he stops him. So I'm leaning more towards Canelo, but Triple G is a monster, bro. You know,
Oh,
dude,
good.
he's
He's a
like,
technician, man.
he punches, man.
That's a good
Yeah.
And he
take.
got power of his own, so it's
Damn
a
good
crazy
take.
fight.
Are you gonna So we actually know somebody fighting in the UFC Contender Series tomorrow. Shout out to Marnik, man.
Yeah, Marnik, man. She's from
The sawed-off savage. She'll
she-
be fighting tomorrow.
she fights out of Bozeman, Montana, but she was on the show and she's on Dana White's Contender Series tomorrow fighting. Shout out to her. Good luck to her.
Nice.
Yeah,
Um,
threw that out there.
so as a kid, you said you jumped in there around 10. You had a master that you obviously that you looked up to and an individual who was teaching you. But I mean, aside of all that, who was the man you looked up to the most, or individual, not just man, it could be anybody, obviously.
Man, I that's a good question, man, because I've had, my fair share of masters, masteres and
Right.
senseis, and I've had, very good connections with all of them, and and it's not like there's a lot of them, I've only switched camps twice,
Yep.
But to answer that question truthfully, man, my biggest hero is my mom, bro, my mother.
Shout out, mom.
You know what I mean? My biggest hero, like if I look at the reason why I put in work the way that I put in work, I think about her and my older brother, Papa.
There you
You
go.
know,
Fuck
and
yeah.
for the simple fact that, I've been in relationships with single women, with single mothers, right? And not to put nobody down or nothing, but I've been there, right? And my ex became a single mother after we separated, of course. And just the way that they think and compare it to what my mom lived, like there's no comparison. Like this woman, we lived a good life in California. You know what I mean? Like we had a good life. My
Describe
father
our life.
provided a very good life for me, and from him going to prison, you know what I mean? Hello?
Yep, I'm here. Yep.
You guys there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that was me.
All right.
I bumped.
So
the
from
video.
him going to prison and her having to start from zero, we're talking about we leave California, come to Miami, no family, no friends, no papers. She's an immigrant, right? No English, no profession. What she knows how to do is take care of the kids, cook and clean.
Yeah.
So with those accolades, right, with cooking and cleaning, she raised all 6 of us on her own. You know what I mean?
Wow.
My sister's a nurse, a registered nurse practitioner. My brother has had Hillary Clinton in the back of his car. He's a retired vet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm a 9-time world champion. Like my other sister's still in college, still looking for a lucrative job. And she's gonna be doing CSI, right?
Oh,
and
wow.
forensics. And my other brother has ran companies. Being the own manager of several valet parking organizations. So it's like companies, but it's like
You guys are all
to be able to
successful in your
have
own
your
right.
kids succeed like that without having any friends, any family, just busting your ass from day to day.
It's a no-brainer.
You gotta
That's a
respect that.
no-brainer.
That's a W. That's a W. Dude.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
dude.
to me,
I love
that's like my biggest motivator, my biggest hero.
I would get behind that 100% because we were raised by our mom as well, and we grew up in poverty, and she did it pretty much on her own, raising two. It was a woman raising 2 men, and she did it well, man. I think we're not quite as successul as you are yet, but we're working
We're
on
getting
it.
there. Our names are getting thrown
And
around.
you're still
We're working
working,
on
you're young as hell, man. We're gonna get there.
I'm 27, so I'm gonna keep going.
So we talked about your role.
Oh, you're a baby. You're a baby, man. 27. Hey, I started what we're talking about right now, my life fighting. I started at 26.
Oh wow!
Oh,
So
shit.
Think about what you can do with your time.
nine-time world champ since 26. That's crazy, dude. That's awesome. Wow.
You're the king,
Not bad.
man.
Like you said, belt it paid off.
So
Fuck yeah.
you
Yes, sir.
we just touched on the idea of who your role models were and who your biggest role model is. Now that the roles have reversed, how does it feel to be the role model?
It's awesome, man. It's really humbling and it feels really good because like I have a 19-year-old son that is now in the army. He's right now in Israel. He's starting off now. He just got shipped out. And I've always told him, you know, you can't go wrong with the truth, man. You know what I mean? You cannot go wrong with the truth. Like my father taught me many years ago, the men that lie or the people that lie are people that are afraid of the outcome of the truth. You know what I mean?
Dude, I say
You know
that
what I mean?
So I said the only reason why you lie is because you're afraid of something, no matter what it is, your outcome.
Because you're scared of the outcome of the truth. You're scared of where the truth is gonna take you. You know what I mean?
I've never heard anyone else say that.
You know, as long as you don't lie, you know, even if you go through a hard time, you know, saying the truth, you can't go wrong, man. What else is gonna happen after that?
Yeah.
You know? So living my life like that and talking to my son that way, you know, I walk that path, and that's the path that I leave behind. So when people look up to me, I know that they're being guided the right way. You know what I mean? I know that I have a good conscience in my head where I'm, you know, if I'm guiding anybody, if anybody's following my footsteps, I know that I'm leaving a good trace behind me. You know what I mean? And with that, I sleep good at night, you know?
Absolutely.
No, that's good. You know, with that stake on life, there is no faking it till you're making it. You're either doing well or you're not, and you're willing to say it, which is awesome.
Yeah. How many you brought up your children a few times? How many kids you got?
Only one. I'm currently working on the next pack, but only one so far. I have a 19-year-old about that much taller than me.
Right.
Yeah,
now
he's doing good.
A lot of practice in.
You already know.
What does he use? If I go for it, buddy.
How big is your piece?
My wife has said not to mention any details. Just know the wife is happy.
There you go. Okay.
All right. Fair point.
Shout out to your wife, man.
All right.
So I went back and I watched both of your WSO versus Justin, I think you say Gaith or something like that. How, man, you guys went to war. Those were awesome fights.
For real.
What made you after those? What made you go the bare knuckle route instead of like harder in the UFC route?
So when I fought Justin, that was about what, 2015, 2016, around there.
Yes, sir.
And I was fighting at 155 pounds. I felt great, you know. I went and fought him again right away. I underestimated him the first fight. I wasn't conditioned the way I should have been conditioned. So I was on autopilot, and that fight today has over 10 million views on YouTube, you know?
Yeah.
The second fight was given to me 4 months later, and he caught me slipping. No excuses, you know? Like I believe I was winning for the most of that fight, and he caught me with a good shot and dropped me. I didn't see no darkness. I wasn't dizzy. It was a flash kick, you know, knockdown, and it stopped it right there, right away, you know? Like, really, you know, we're in his city, we're in his, you know, his crowd. But, you know, after that, you know, I ended up catching a contract in Russia, and I was fighting for ACA, which is ACB, which is now called ACA. And ACA, even today and back then, is the biggest organization out of Europe. You know, some tough Russians, man. You know, you don't beat Russians unless you finish them. You know, especially in their home. You know. So ACA is called ACA today. I'm gonna look. It was called ACB when I fought in it.
Okay.
It was a very good show, very high level, like very, very high level.
What's it like dealing with Russians?
I'm
just curious.
I was suffering too many decision losses. I went in say it again.
I just wanted to catch you while you're on the topic real quick. What's it like dealing business?
Repeat the question because you broke up and now you're here clearly.
Okay. What was it like dealing with Russians business wise? Was it like, you know?
Look, man, the Russians that I've dealt with, they were cool. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And as far as paying me what was owed, they paid me well. You know what I mean? They never made me wait for money. They always took good care of me. You know, they even gave me translators when I asked for. You know, so they took good care of me, man. But when it comes to decisions, it doesn't matter what side of the decision you're in. You're just not gonna win a decision. It's just not gonna happen. You know what I mean? Not over there.
Yeah, it's not.
The only decision I ever won in an organization was when I fought a Brazilian in Russia. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, what happened was I started to suffer, you know, my losses, even though there was split decisions, and I was like this, unmarked. You know, it was due to like wrestlers and holding me down and nearly whispering in my ear, "Don't get up no more, please." You know, but once I suffered a 4-fight lose streak, and I've been fighting for 5 years with 2 torn ligaments in the same knee, you know, and a toe that doesn't bend. You know what I mean? So it's like that's all in the same leg. You know, my biggest weapon is my low kicks. You know, I can't use my low kicks. I can't wrestle these people. I can't wrestle without wrestling shoes. So I said, you know what, man? I said I didn't do it publicly, but I just stopped fighting. And then I seen Jim Allers, which was well, the guy that I fought. He was a training partner of mine. He was a UFC vet. You know, Jim Allers was the face of the organization. You know, he was the face of Bare Knuckle. Yeah. He was 4-0, 4 knockouts. You know, at the time, you know, I asked to get in there. He even helped. He even mentioned my name. You know, everybody was mentioning my name. Like, hey, you need to have Baboon in there. You know, this is him. You know, this is for him. You know, yeah. And once I got the contract, man, that was it. And I started from a very low money in the deal. You know, but I said, now I'll earn my way up. You know, I have no problem doing that. I've always done it. You know, and I mainly managed myself. You know, so I got in there, man, and very low money, but I did it. Yourself? I won, and I haven't lost.
You still manage yourself?
Do you currently still manage yourself?
Man, look, to be very honest, for the most part, I do. For the most part, I do. The only difference today is that I do have Christopher Navarro. Christopher Navarro is Ralph Navarro's son, which is my manager. Okay, but Christopher Navarro is a manager in the music business. So I'm the first fighter that he's taking under his wing, and he's done awesome with my contract. He's gotten me to get paid the most that I've ever gotten paid in my life, including MMA fights, including, you know, PFL that was then called WSOF, including Bellator, you know, like including ACA, you know what I mean, that you pay me well too. You know, Chris has negotiated some very good contracts for me. So as far as being a manager, you know, I do have a manager. As far as being like a full-on manager, I can't say that yet because he's just getting into the business. You know what I mean? Fantastic. So all those other things I still do for myself. Yes.
You market yourself really, really well then. Because I was really surprised when you said, you know, I kind of do it on my own because I know how hard it is because we create our own shit and we're always on the ball, you know, and for real, dude. For you to be able to take the time and manage yourself within your family and everything is fucking admirable.
Indeed.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's not an easy job, man. You know, you gotta.
No, it's not, man.
I'm on top of my own social media. I'm the one that's doing the answering, the liking, the comments. You know, answering the DMs. You know, I look over my own email, my own Instagram, my own social media all around. I look for my own sponsors. Like I take care of myself.
You're damn good at it.
Fucking good at it. You got it.
not easy.
Hey, did you like my edit when I threw that babu on your face, man?
Oh hell yeah, that was dope. Hell yeah.
Yo, dude, that shit blended so good with your mouth because you were screaming, and I found that, man, and that shit lined up so good. I was like, yo, dude, this worked way too good.
No, I like that one, the jungle in the background and all that shit.
I was like, that shit worked way too good.
Tyler Good John says hello.
Yeah, Good John's with us. Burrito popped in on the live, but he headed out. But I do want to shout him out.
Good John, was good.
Yeah, Tyler's watching.
Yes, sir.
Are you still as hungry as you've ever been, considering the accomplishments you got behind you?
Like, are you just waiting for fights now? You know, are you just waiting for them to come, or are you still aggressively trying to get there?
Okay, you gotta repeat that because you broke off for a second there. You were paused for a second. Repeat the question.
Are you still as hungry as you've been, such as, are you still seeking fights, or are you just waiting for people to come to you?
Yeah, are you as hungry as you are?
You got the belt, so you can technically wait.
Are you as hungry as you've ever been, considering all the accomplishments you have behind you?
Man, you know, to be very honest with you, I think I'm more hungry today than I was before I got the belt. You know,
wow.
And I tell you why, man. Look, you got to look at. We already spoke about my MMA career. You know, I ended up collecting 4 of those belts back there, right? And I fought the who's who's. I fought some good names out there, you know, from George Masvidal to the Justin Gage's, Yves Edwards, like you name it. I've fought some names, you know. I didn't have the opportunity to do an amateur lifetime before going to make the mistakes in my professional career. So I'm taking the professional MMA time that I did as my amateurs for my bare knuckle life. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. So now here's the reason why I'm undefeated. Here's the reason why I'm the the first two-weight division champion in history. You know what I mean? And to continue and answer the question, man, I'm more hungry than before because I'm so focused on what I want. You know, I know what I want. What I want is I want to retire undefeated, but there are certain fights that I need to take. You know, at the same time that there are certain fights that I need to take, I have to defend the title at 165, number one, or else I was never a champion. To me, Brito was never the champion at 165. Brito captured the belt, and he never defended it successfully. You know, if people that follow the fight game, the real fight game, the real deal, Holyfield, how they say right here in the neighborhood, right, is you're not a champion until you successfully defend your title at least once. You know what I mean? You collected the belt, you didn't defend the belt. So I'm in a position right now where I need to defend that belt to be called the real 165-pound champion. So I have that fight pending. But meanwhile, I have to defend my title right now before the end of the year at 155 pounds.
Yeah.
And I was in Peru doing a week press tour to try to bring Bare Knuckle to Peru. I'm gonna bring it. We're gonna do it. We're on talks about it with Dave, but it's gonna be next year to do it right. You know what I mean? That's So for right now, I'm hungry, brother. I'm as hungry or hungrier. But at the same time, I have a predicament where I've been fighting for I'm going on 17 years professional. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah, and it's time to feed the baboon. You know what I mean? So my thing right now is, where are the money fights? Like, where's the fight that I make some real money in? Okay. You feel me? So when I call out people, I'm not calling out people only for their trajectory. I'm calling out people depending on their name. I've been calling out Chad Mendes for the last 3 fights that I've had. You know what I mean? Okay. And all respect, that's a good all love, that's a good fight. Yeah, we've had good exchange of words. He's a real cool dude. You know what I mean? Very respectful. I would love to fight him. And I see BKFC keeps posting videos of him training, but yet I'm the champion that's challenged him 3 times and no answer. I need not publicly. You know what I'm saying? So I need a fight like Chad Mendes. If Chad Mendes is not ready for me, what about Buaka? Buaka that just won his debut.
I want you for, dude. Okay, the Chad Mendes thing, I've been entertaining. I've been watching the scene a bit, but I think that's your best matchup.
After that,
then let's do it this year.
Get it done. Get it done.
Let's do it this year. I'm ready for it right now. We could do it
I'm ready to market that motherfucking fight.
Realistically, I could see that. I mean, I could see that going down in November, maybe.
You know,
I'm good. I'm ready. I'm good to go. He had his debut. He's okay. Nothing happened to him. There's more than enough time for him to get ready. He's a world champion legend, man. You know, it'd be an honor to fight him, and I think I deserve a good check for that.
I don't want to offend anyone when I say this, but when I seen him come over, you were the only face that came to my mind, dude. When it came to who is gonna fucking knock him out or gonna stop him, you were the one, man, that came to my mind. I said, that's the fucking fight right there, dude.
Thank you.
That's the one, dude. I'm glad you said
I think it'll be an excellent fight, man. I think it'll be a really, really sick fight. And if they were to decide to do it over there in Peru, oh my God. Because in Peru, the Muay Thai world is very big. Yeah, that's the reason why Valentina Shevchenko trained so many years with us. Yeah, Valentina Shevchenko, UFC champion, she used to represent always the Peruvian flag as a thank you because she's a citizen from Peru. And all of her years of Muay Thai have been in Peru. So the Muay Thai community in Peru is big.
You know what's kind of crazy?
So a fight against Buaka in Peru, we could fill up the stadium.
I was gonna say, I know people that are already that are in the. I think Howie, the old boy with the glasses, he said, hey, if Luis gets that down there in Peru, I'm going.
Yeah, that's a massive fight, man.
Sure.
He said, I don't even care who. He's like, I don't even care who it is. As soon as that event's ready, I'm flying out because he lives in Washington.
Get ready to eat, my brother. Get ready to eat.
Yeah,
that is your money fight, man.
That's right.
I think 100% that's your money fight. That's going to bring in so many views internationally. Because he's a superstar where he's from, man. and
Yep.
and not even in the like he has 1 million followers on Instagram alone.
Yep.
You know?
Already.
Yeah.
Before getting
This
to
is
Bare Knuckle.
before BKFC's following. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I find it really interesting because Christine Ferreira, she brought up Muay Thai. I think Brito brought up Muay Thai, and now you brought up Muay Thai as well. It seems like the pattern is changed from UFC's basis is jiu-jitsu and taekwondo and boxing, right?
But
Then-
Muay Thai, that
And then you
power
have
striking.
boxing, who is traditional. It's you're either southpaw or traditional. You have your styles there. And then for BKFC, I've seen it evolve. Like from the beginning, it was kind of a little weird, and I think people were kind of understanding it a little better. But now that it's getting developed, and you can see these fighters develop, you're seeing Muay Thai become such a more dominant base in this fight sport that because of the clench work and using ropes. I mean, because some Muay Thai sports are still roped up, and you know what I mean. Like it really fits this sport so good that I think the Peru spot with Muay Thai, like it's just so
Yeah.
perfect. That is, if David doesn't see how perfect that is, it's crazy. That's a perfect meetup place, dude.
100%. Just outside of that, is there an organization that you would drop everything to help? Like, is there one that you mess with a lot?
You have a charity, you
No, I wouldn't drop anything. No. If there's an organization that could get me out of fighting from Bare Knuckle, the only reason and I wouldn't leave Bare Knuckle. The only reason what I would leave is to do a fight in UFC. If I was to get a call, hey, let's do a 1-fight deal, I would do that just to be like, okay, I did it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't right now at this stage be like, okay, I'm gonna go back to MMA. Nah, man. I'm to be very honest, I'm the king of this mountain. I'm staying in this mountain. You know what I mean? Until I retire. Now, would I do a fight in UFC? If UFC was to give me an opportunity to do one fight in UFC, I'd love to do it. And who? Either George Masvidal or Justin Gaethje. You know what I mean?
Oh,
that'd be
hey, I would.
sick, dude.
Hold on, let that connection reconnect. That third Justin would be sweet.
Yeah, dude.
That'd be a good
Yeah,
one.
why
A
not?
one-fight
Why
deal
not?
on the UFC. That'd be
A
awesome.
1-fight deal. 1-fight deal. You're talking about a fight that has 10 million
so.
views on YouTube. Why not do a trilogy? You know what I mean?
That's right.
I love a trilogy, man. I'm excited. Like I'm hoping that we get a trilogy out of Floyd again before he officially is done fighting. Because there's a few or an Oscar. I heard Oscar wants to fight Floyd again too. But I love trilogies, man. I just like I like the man. Let's
Like
get
this Canelo
let's
Triple
get
G
let's
fight.
get this even card out of here. Let's see who's really better. I love it, dude.
Right. That's why I'm excited for this Saturday boxing match.
So outside of fighting, you seem to travel like you're just on a presser. And what's your favorite style of traveling? And well, obviously, besides vacationing, but like, what's your favorite style of traveling, and where do you
Like
go?
mode of transportation, or what are you asking?
Traveling as in such of means and why?
Okay.
Yeah. Does he like business?
Traveling
Does he like
like
vacation?
as in like leaving like the state, the country.
Yeah,
yeah.
either
The
way.
vacations. I'm gonna be very honest with you, man. I'm just now starting to travel because I was 31 years illegal immigrant in the States.
Oh, okay.
31 years. You know what I mean? That's part of the reason why I never went to UFC. I've had years throughout those years in which I've had a work permit and I was eligible to work, but it wasn't like that always. Like I'll get it 1 year, I wouldn't get it for 2 years, or I get it 2 years and I wouldn't get it for 3 years, and so on for 31 years. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I even had the call from UFC in the past, before I went to the World Series of Fighting, and they wanted me to cut weight and go to 145 when I was fighting 155 within a couple of days, and I was like, nah, when I go, I'll go for real. You know what I mean? When they give me an opportunity for real, and I ended up signing with World Series of Fighting. So every time I had an opportunity, like I was already signed with somebody, with an organization that is exclusive. You know what I mean? So to answer the question, traveling, man, so far right now, my favorite is going to see family, man. After I just saw my dad after 26 years, I saw my brother after 26 years.
Holy shit.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Amazing,
seeing family is my thing right now.
Is it
No,
difficult?
that's good.
Is it difficult getting visas to travel when you were traveling to Russia and shit?
The whole Russia thing was I got lucky because I used to just get the work permit and that was it.
Yeah.
And one day I get a work permit right when they're offering me to fight in Russia. I get the work permit, and in the bottom of the work permit, it says advanced parole. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And I asked my immigration attorney, right? And he's like, look, this means that you have a permission to leave the country and come back in. And my eyes lit up. I'm like, what? Then I can go to Russia. I can fight in Russia, come back, see my dad in Mexico. My dad was living in Mexico back then, right?
Okay.
And he was like, yeah, but I'm going to need you to sign this. So he makes me sign this paper where he's taking responsibility out, because he explained to me like this. He says, look, there's a permission to come back into the country. Yes. Now, when you come back in and you land in the airport here in Miami, the officer, the immigration officer, has the right to decline your entry, even with that card. So you're taking a risk leaving, because you might not be able to come back in. But I've been 31 years illegal because I didn't have legal entry.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I said, that's the way to get legal entry right there. I'm getting permission to come back in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I took off, man. Signed the paper and I took off.
Yeah,
I took the chance. And I traveled with my belts. You know?
Hell yeah.
When I came back and I had all my belts, you know, the guards were really nice. You know, they were like, what's up, champ? You know, like, they recognized me, you know, and it was smooth. And they gave me that legal entry. And because of that legal entry today, I'm a resident. I'm a permanent resident legally.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Got to take chances, bro.
That's right.
Work
permit worked off. Hell yeah.
So
yes, sir.
Actually, you're such an accomplished fighter, but we talk to fighters so much that I've picked up that a lot of fighters aren't privileged enough to use fighting as their permanent status, where they don't have to do anything else. Are you in that status where you don't do anything else but fighting, or are you kind of an entrepreneur?
Or do you got to work?
No, I think that that's look, man, I think that's an excuse that us, and I'm including myself in this, us fighters come up with to only have to deal with fighting. You know, I think that's an excuse that we, you know, look, man, if you're not a fighter, if you're a fighter that is not making at the very least, let's say $150,000 a year, let's just say, right? Yep. If you're not making $150,000 at the bare minimum, $150,000 a year, then why are you so comfortable only training, man? You know what I mean? Like, why are you so comfortable? Look, I do a lot of speeches. I train in the Young Tigers Foundation. That's a low income gym, you know, where my trainer, you know, trains me. And I do a lot of, like, you know, a lot of giving, and a lot of that giving is my time where I'll teach, you know, seminars, and I'll speak to the guys that are coming up, you know, the young bucks and the older dudes, because the older dudes are there too, right?
Yeah. Because
they got it mixed up, and you can't run game to me because I've lived this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
So you got the young kids, right? That I told them like this: if you're 21 years and younger, and you happen to be blessed enough to live in your mother's house or your father's house, you're not paying bills on your own yet, right? Why are you so comfortable only training? It's good that you believe that you're going to be a champion. It's good that you believe that you're going to make money like McGregor or Floyd Mayweather. It's good. But what if you don't?
Yeah.
What if you get into a car accident? What if you just don't become as good as you thought you were going to be, and you don't make that money? Now you spend 10 years of your life, right, fighting check to check because you didn't save shit, you didn't invest in anything, and you didn't study anything, right? And now you're wondering why you're 10 years deep into a profession that didn't give you any money, right? And you're in this depression, like, what do I do now? So I talk to the kids, you know, because that happens a lot, right? And I tell them, look, man, if you're under 21 years old and you're training to fight, awesome. But you should be in college, man, or you should be studying something.
Yep.
And then they come with their biggest excuse, right? With, oh, you know, I got to focus on training because I want to be a champion. Okay, all right. So let's put it like this, right? If you want to be a champion and you already got your bills paid and you're living in your parents' home, right? And all you got to do is worry about training. Why not study nutrition?
Right.
Why not study, you know, something to do with weightlifting, conditioning? You know what I mean? Because that will help you become a champion. You know, being more versed in your own nutrition, being more versed in your own physical conditioning. And that will be a backup plan. If something goes wrong, you have a profession that you can fall onto.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what I say to the people that are 21 and under. Then the ones that are 21 and older, they need to fucking be realistic with themselves, man. I know people living in gyms that are still fighting at 35, 37, right? Thinking they're gonna be, you know, a champion someday, which great. It's good to believe that. But why are you not working, motherfucker? Why are you not working?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because look, if you're an adult, you have responsibilities. You got bills to pay.
100%.
Maybe you have a kid to raise, right? Maybe you don't have a kid, but you have your own self to raise. But no, you want to stick yourself in the gym because you don't want the responsibility to work. And you can't talk that shit to me because I became champion 4 times working construction from 5 a.m. in the morning to 5 p.m. in the afternoon and still training before construction and after construction, hanging up insulation in the summer, bro. You know what insulation is? That's fiberglass going in your lungs and your skin. You can't even take a shower without getting scratched up for days. It's to come off your skin. I did that for 4 years. And then I worked nights from 8 p.m. till 5 a.m. in the morning to go and train 11 to 2 p.m. to go and train 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. to go and work again, man. And you're going to tell me you can't do it? You can go to school?
That's that Kobe schedule.
And anybody that is listening to the show who is a fighter, he's simply saying, are you dedicated enough to make your life worth it in the fight game? Because that's
yes. Look, in the end of the day, is this. I've seen too many fighters that I know go into depression, and I was one of them, man. I was pretty much retired mentally. You know what I mean? I was 37 already.
It's hard on you guys, man.
I'm an example. You know?
I worry about a lot of you.
You look at it like, damn, I should have been doing this. Look, if you're a fighter that's struggling, you're not making 150,000 and up in today's economy, the bare minimum that you could do is get a job that pays your everyday living at the bare minimum, so that when you get into a fight professionally and you get that check, you don't have to depend on that check.
Right.
Grab that check and put it in a fucking bank account through a business. Pay yourself through a business. Open your business, because you are a business as a self-employed fighter.
Yes, dude. Right? Yes.
Pay yourself to your business. Start creating some sort of credit to your business, you know, and start putting money away so that if you don't make it to be a champion or to the big bucks, at least you have a nice amount of money you can invest in something. You know what I mean?
Yo.
So that's my big issue with, you know, with fighters that today think that all they got to do is just focus on fighting. Look, if you're making $150,000 a year minimum, then you have the right to focus only on your fight, because you're making enough money to save and to live out of. Fair. You know what I mean? If you're not making that much money, take your ass to work or school, man. Be realistic with yourself.
I like that, because then I like how you said, even if it's just the nutrition or strength and conditioning, it's just something, like you said, it's knowledge that you can also just do off the side.
And you can market yourself in the process. In the
hey, man, hey, look at Jake Paul brothers. What are Jake Paul brothers are? They're YouTubers. Go study something to do with social media, with editing videos, because you can do it for yourself.
Digital marketing.
And you can still work out of that later.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's just it depends on how you look at things.
Look at the Weekly Bus brothers. We're going to be digital creators as well. Shout out to Triller.
There you go. You're an example.
Shout out Triller. You know, I love that you went into it, because this almost segues us perfectly into this next question is, you know, you are an established fighter. You are at that level where you do this full time. Since you're in the position to do that, what has been your busiest year, and how have you kept yourself busy throughout that year? And what advice
I say repeat, because you're still going on. What's been my busiest year, and what else?
Your busiest year, fight year, and what did it entail? Like, what advice could you give other fighters to keep their year busy, where they can bring in income?
I say last year, man. Last year, I was nominated and awarded as the best male fighter of the year.
Yep.
Congratulations. Pound for pound fighter of the company. I was busy, man. I fought 3 times, defending my titles, captured another one. And you know, I have a meal prep business with my wife. You know, I have another side hustle that's called Baboon's Bullies, where I breed American bullies. And I'm done with that. I'm retired. We'll get into that another day. I'm retired with that. I think it was a good time when I first started it, and right now I'm just in love with my dogs, and,
I was gonna say
and I
that
just want to make sure that my
adoption was
dogs
a
are
lot of
well
work
taken
to
care of.
begin
You know
with.
what I mean?
Just that.
It's a
dog
lot of
training
work,
is a lot.
man. So and then I practice what I preach, because at the same time that we have a meal prep business, at the same time that I have dogs giving birth and stuff like that, right? Taking care of my dogs, I'm a personal trainer, man. I wake up every single day at 5 a.m. in the morning, 5 a.m. in the morning, every single day to train my client, Rob Navarro. We train from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., 2 hours, every single day religiously, you know? And I train other clients, and I manage people, I manage fighters, and I manage myself. So you can't give me no excuses, you know? 5 title defenses, 2-weight division champion, undefeated, pound for pound, and I have all that work in between. You know what I mean? So yeah, you can't give me those excuses.
Okay.
There you go. So between you know, when you're being busy, since you've had so many of those fights, does media and all that shit take up all your time basically? Are you just doing a shit ton?
Man, there's so much time, man. It's interview after interview after interview after interview. Some interviews could be 30 minutes, some could be an hour.
Yeah.
You know, the signing of the autographs, the these, you know, the mail, because I answer my fans.
Yeah.
You know, I know that I'm gonna get to a point where I'm not gonna be able to. I'm like at 150,000 followers right now.
Yep.
And I answer. I take my time to like and comment and you know, interact. But my time is like this right now, man. You know, especially with everything else that I'm taking on, and I have more projects that I'm starting to work on, because I'm setting myself up for retirement.
That's right.
You know, which is what most people don't think about.
You're pretty preserved too, as for age and how well you've taken care of yourself.
With that being said, I do want to just thank you for your time again.
Fuck yeah.
On camera.
Thank you guys.
with us, you know, the weekly Bust and Palomino, we've been hyping it up for a couple weeks now, and people are like, "What's going on?" I said, "He's a busy motherfucker, dude. He got shit going on." So
and then the weekend we do it, we're busy
Yeah.
at the BKFC events. You know what I mean? The one that you're not at. You know what I mean? It's like,
so we're like, you got to be patient with us. He's the biggest guy in the sport right now. So I know that you guys want the fucking interview, but we're working with him. Trust me.
You already know.
What's the fanciest event you've ever attended?
Yeah, because the Hard Rock's pretty fancy.
From BKFC, you mean?
In general, actually.
In
like,
general.
what's the most black suit and
I
tie?
know. To be fair and honest, I remember being at the UFC fight where McGregor was first starting off. It was in Chicago, and that was when my boy Rick Lamas. But that was like so many years ago, right? Yeah. And that was like the biggest, nicest show that I have seen to date. But now, come to think of the shows that I've headlined over here in Miami for the Hard Rock, my bro, like, oh man, we're on another level now, man. You know,
true.
I think that the fanciest that I've seen are the last few shows we've had here. Bare Knuckle Mania 1 and 2.
Yep,
they've been out of control, man. I mean,
but are you in Tampa then?
No, I'm in Miami.
Oh, that's what I thought. Okay, I thought so. But those were in Tampa, weren't they? Wasn't Knuckle Mania in Tampa?
Hollywood,
was it in Hollywood?
Hollywood. Knuckle Mania 2.
Hard Rock. Okay, Hard Rock is so nice, man. Like, I was blown away, man.
Beautiful. And the production of BKFC. You can hear Joe Rogan talking about the production of BKFC. Dude, like, they put some real money on there. You know what I mean? That's not no little rinky-dink show.
The new cameras that they do on walkouts, you know, the 4K cameras. Dude, that shit looks like a video game, man. I was like, holy shit, that looks crazy, dude. The production is unreal. David Feldman, shout out, man. He's treated us so cool, man.
Shout out to that. Yeah, shout out to all BKFC organization.
BKFC, man. They treated us like family when we were here in Great Falls. It was awesome. I mean, I gotta say, shout out to David and his organization. They kick ass.
Shout out to Brian Socha.
Hello, Brian Socha and Brian
Socha, the man.
He is the man, dude. He's so cool.
He said, like, oh, Luis is gonna be a fun interview. He's like, he's awesome.
I know someone that wants a shout out from you. I'm sure of it because I was just chatting with him this morning. OG Shawnee Mack.
Oh Oh, OG.
Hell yeah.
He fucks with us. He's been watching us, man. He reached out this morning and said that we were fucking kicking ass to keep it real. And he's like, you guys are you guys are on the right path. Just keep doing what you're doing, man.
We're gonna keep doing it until we are full-time podcasters as well.
Yeah,
that's it. That's the way to go, man.
Until then, I'm still working, dog. I coach kids. I work. You know what I mean? I get down.
That's how it's done, though.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how it's done.
Yeah, I coach 2 different basketball teams.
He's been coaching
myself.
Yep.
Actually finding a new job, but hey,
we
life
coach
goes on.
soccer. Yeah, dude, we got a lot of like Levi's really active within the kids community. He's always giving back to.
Awesome.
Yeah, I had one of my parents recognize me as I'm at the show filming. Like, they're like, "We just seen you on Tuesday. What are you doing here?" I was like, "Best podcast in Montana. Got to keep working."
We just got an award actually. So you see our accolade here. We got yours up back there.
I don't know if you see, like, I'm wearing a yellow band and a gold ribbon for childhood cancer research.
Yep.
Shout out to our
nice.
from Kill Eagle Promotions.
So you brought up Bare Knuckle MMA, and actually I've never even heard of it before until our friend now, Mr. Wesley Kill Eagle. He runs a Bare Knuckle MMA promotion in Montana. And,
look at that.
He recently this season jumped on our show, and since then he's had, it's helped him out a lot, and he's gotten a lot of opinions, and we won an award the night before the BKFC event.
Yeah, Friday we got that.
We got the best podcast in Montana award, and
nice, congrats, guys, that's dope.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
So we've talked about your role models. We've talked about you being a role model, but you've also been a bad guy in some people's eyes. But I want to switch the role there and say, who is your worst enemy, man?
Who is my worst enemy in general?
In general,
in general, could be in
spiritual
it could
person.
Be as I say, it could be in your fighting career, could be at your home life. You know what I mean?
Whatever. Who's your greatest enemy?
Man, my worst enemy is all of our worst enemies. It's myself. It's myself, man. I'm the one that's gotten in my own head in times that I shouldn't have. I'm the one that's doubting myself in times that I shouldn't have.
Are you your worst critic?
I'm the one that's been overconfident in moments that I shouldn't have. So I'm my worst enemy. But I am also a student of life, and as long as I keep learning from myself, then doesn't matter.
That's such a bright future, man. I know that when you face Boycott, you're gonna beat his ass, dude.
Hell yeah.
No offense to him, dude. I think he's an established, awesome fighter. I just think that he's coming to a game that you just dominate at, man. You're really good at, and I cannot wait for that day to come across. So you being your greatest enemy, that also brings criticism from yourself. Do you over critique yourself a lot of times? Are you OCD with your mannerisms?
Yeah, sometimes you don't realize it until other people say it. And I remember hearing Tyler Goodjohn in an interview in a podcast with Yuli Monster, right?
Shout out Yuli, his podcast.
Don't Blink podcast. Yeah.
No, shout out.
I remember him saying, he said, Tyler says, you know what it is about Baboon? He says, Baboon is his own worst critic. And you don't think about it until you hear it from other people. Like what the
then you realize you're like, oh, I am.
And then like he's an example, right? Like we were running in the track, and Tyler was smoking me at first, right? And I'm not there. I know where I'm at and where I need to be, and I'm really hard on myself. And Tyler's just laughing at the fact that I'm killing all these workouts, but I'm still complaining about myself not pushing hard enough. So, yeah, it's funny. It's funny to hear that from somebody else.
He really looks up to you, man. He has nothing but good words to say about you, man. He really looks at you as a mentor, and I was really thinking that you was gonna knock out who do you face? Was it
you guys there? It froze.
James Lilly.
James Lilly.
Is that who he fought?
Oh, rewind, because I didn't hear nothing that you guys said after I spoke because it was frozen.
Okay.
We said that Tyler speaks really highly of you.
Yeah,
he said that he learns a lot. And what were you saying about him and fighting James Lilly?
He truly looks at you as a mentor, and I really believed with the training that you were giving him that I really thought he was going to knock him out. I had him picked, knocking him out in the second.
But like
yeah.
And then he come right out of that fight, and he's like, "Well, He's
shit
like,
changes.
yeah, he said I put in a 10-week camp when I didn't even get to show you what I knew.
Yeah, he was.
He's like, I got cut early and my whole plan changed.
He reached back out to us the other week, and he's jumping on here, and like I want to get him on ASAP because I want to get him on post fight, you know. And
Awesome.
I think he has some I think he has some choice words, and he wants to get back in that ring stat, is what I understood.
Man, I don't know about you guys, but to me that was fight of the night, man. I mean,
That was a dog fight, dude.
Yeah,
yeah,
whoa, man.
I have a hard
That was
time.
a
I was
performance
watching
man.
that one on the road. I was like, oh hell yeah.
I have a
That
hard
was a
time picking
performance.
fight of the night because the Mike Perry fight was a
Yeah, that was a performance, man.
that was a fucking.
You know,
dog
things
fight.
didn't go the way we planned them. I needed to be in that corner. I couldn't make it, and not because I didn't want to. It's just this whole visa situation is a serious issue, and it takes too much time. But I believe, man, I think that he was in such good shape, right? He was like in such like dominating shape. Like I don't think he's ever been in shape like that because he's a hard worker. He never complained on anything we did. He'll literally train until
His
he vomits.
stamina is unreal.
Yeah, he said, I'm
his
ready to
stamina,
go.
his stamina
it's
shows
ridiculous. The dude was here weighing 190 pounds, smoking me in the track. Like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? You know, like that's a gift that he has. But I think that fight night was like he felt so ready, so good that he just went and fucking tornado into that shit. Like, okay, let me just get rid of this guy, you know?
Hey, he's not called
And
El
he
Tornado
ran into
for no
technicalities.
reason. Oh,
Yeah, he ran into those
what's up,
technicalities
brother?
that, you know, and then he got a shut off eye in the first round, fighting with one eye open and the eye is leaking blood into his man. It was, you know,
I thought they were gonna
he
stop
did a
it
lot.
in the third. I thought they were gonna stop it in the third, and they let him go on. I said, good for the ref and good for the doc, man, because
Yes.
and that's when Tyler really started to shine. He started to turn up the gears there, and
Oh yeah.
it was.
I think
he was leaking, but he was still
third,
swinging.
fourth,
It was
fifth
awesome.
is all him.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, he was pressuring the fight. He was pressuring the fight, and he was landing more shots. Look, round one, round two, okay. Round 3, 4, 5, I give it the title.
Yep, me too, man. I went the same exact route. I was a little you know, I was okay with the decision the way it went, but I because it could have went either way, but I gave it the exact same way you did. Exact same way. He turned up the gears right during that time, man. And I was like, there it is. Now he's starting to turn it up.
Yeah, I don't remember where I watched him in his interview, but he's like, I couldn't even see, and I'm still out there fighting.
He was fucking leaking. That's why, man. His eye was leaking.
Yeah, he was.
Since you raise dogs, this is a perfect question because he brought up raising dogs and stuff.
Oh, if animals could talk, which one would be the smartest?
The dolphin, man.
I think that's the most realistic answer.
Dolphin is.
I mean,
they say
the dolphin
that if
has
dolphins
already
had legs,
been.
they would have took over the world.
It has already been noted as the smartest creature in the world, right?
Yeah.
Imagine him talking.
I was thinking octopus, but that's just personal.
Octopus is
Man, they're smart too, though. They're really smart too, though.
They're so weird, man.
Yeah.
I watched a documentary on octopuses actually, and on their intelligence, and they actually say that their origins cannot be linked to Earth. They think that is a subspecies from like a real alien.
We don't even know where eels come from, so
I mean, they're crazy. I think
real thing.
They have their brains smushed. They can get in the holes like this, man. And then you have
That's
the
crazy.
dolphins.
That's a full.
They can unscrew and screw things.
Yeah,
It's
dude,
crazy.
that's what the documentary was
You
about.
can't even put them in a fucking mason jar, and they're still good now.
With dolphins, though, that was a fantastic answer because with their communication systems, they say that the dolphins' communications are so far beyond humans that even our technology isn't quite on par with how well they communicate because they can
Yeah, they develop sonar, man, on their own.
Yeah, like the
You know,
most
like,
advanced
they
sonar.
can
You know, there's
communicate.
that sonar, and then there's dolphin sonar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy,
It's
man.
crazy.
And they're vicious, dude. They fuck sharks up too, man.
That's very true. How do you deal with stressful environments?
Stressful environment. You know,
Are you just always kind of calm, cool?
I'd be lying to you if I was to actually tell you how I deal with it. All I know is that I respond very well to it. I don't know why. Like, you know, stressful environments is like my home. Like, I'm okay. while I can see people like really frustrated and sweating or depressed, like I feel okay. And I don't know, maybe it has to do with what I've been through in my life, because I've seen some shit, you know. But how do I deal with it, man? Listen, I just be myself, man. Just calm and collected.
That's a really.
I was like, that's like me. I'm hard. I'm never really rattled.
See, and I'm high strung. I'm more high strung and more out like high wired and shit. So my question was, with your stress, you say you just kind of deal with it. Do you become more agitated as stress goes on, or do you kind of just work through it?
No, I don't get agitated at all. Actually,
Nice.
I don't. I really don't. Yeah.
Levi, go ahead.
So, yesterday I made this thing yesterday. I just wanted to take a second to, if you know anybody, say in the service or whatever, but 9/11 was 21 years ago. Yesterday, it's the 12th now, but I just want to take a second to
Condolences, I guess.
condolences to anybody of the service or
No, of course, man. No, man.
anyone that was lost in New York.
Yeah, I didn't personally know anybody, you know, but you know, it's something that we'll definitely never forget, man. You know, something we definitely will never forget. You know, my brother has served. Is, you know, I've known people that had people, you know, and that hurt. You know what I mean? But it's just an event that is, you know, unfortunate that it happened. It's something that hopefully it won't ever be, you know, repeated. Hopefully, you know, we learn from this as a nation, and it doesn't happen again. I mean, we're seeing things happening right now with the whole Ukraine and Russia and stuff, but I just hope that it doesn't strike home again, you know?
Right.
Yeah. The world's very weird right now. We had a lot more unity in this world. I got a question for you that concerns the latest BKFC event. Did you watch Kai Stewart?
Who?
Kai Stewart.
145.
The young kid in the white and gold. He fought Rusty Crowder. They went to this.
Not by name, but I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
That was in the last event, right?
Yeah, he just moved up. He was number 2 or number 3 in the 145 division. Now he should be moving up to 1, I think.
Yeah, he looked good. I remember seeing his fight. He looked good. Yeah, he looked good. He looked very collected, very technical.
He's another one that got cut early, but took it 5.
Yeah, he went all 5. He with a busted eye open, and he pulled the W. I was just wondering if you had any comments on that fight in particular.
No, I think it was an awesome fight. You know, that's about it. I just, to be very honest with you, it was the first time that I actually watched him fight.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Shout out, man. He's just our boy.
Yeah, he looked good, though.
He's our boy, and I wanted he's like our really good boy, and
we sponsor him.
We sponsor him. He does a lot of episodes. He works with us a lot, and I was just wanting to see if you had any opinion on being on who you are.
He's on the right track. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
and he still goes to college.
Yeah, he's a college kid, man.
Where does he train out of?
Wolfpack down.
He trains Wolfpack. Yeah, Wolfpack in Great Falls. But he is also a collegiate wrestler still currently
for University.
What? And he's still in college. You were saying, right?
Yeah, he's still in.
That's an example right there, man.
He's 22, I think, and he's the youngest.
Oh, hell.
No, almost 22. He just
turned
21 last year.
Oh, you just turned 21. Yeah, he's still almost 22. Yeah.
Yeah, and a collegiate wrestler, man. He can always make a switch anytime.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. No, he's definitely he's a little stud, man. He's wild. People say that he has a mouth on him, but you know he's 3-0 and he's whipping ass. And or is he? Yeah, he's 3-0.
3-0.
And
yeah, he looked good. He looked good. I saw the fight. He looked good.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that. You know, I think we're out of questions, Palomino, and I just want to say you're a great guest, man. You're exactly what I knew you were going to be, a super professional, and I'm so honored to have you on. I can't wait for you to beat up Boyka, which I think it's going to be.
We wake up and check fight news every morning and see what's going on in the world. So
yeah, we love this shit, man, and we can't wait to see where your journey leads. We want you back on whenever you have time, and hopefully it's a lead up for your fight. And we want to see David get that shit done. We're gonna do what we can and push the edge. And don't be surprised if you see your name and Boyka's name coming up on some of our shit. We're gonna try to feed the dragon, man. I think the Chad Mendez.
Hey, tag me on repost, man. Tag me.
I will, dude. I got you. I got you, bro. And you know, I'll entertain the Chad Mendez thing. See how it bites. But I'm gonna push a narrative here if I can. and see if we can encourage some things.
Shit, if we can get you both, that'd be better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get
Um,
race checks.
Well, anyways, I want to say thank you from us, the Weekly Bust, and Lions Not Sheep for giving us hats and merch. We appreciate you,
Oh,
BKFC. Thank
and,
you.
And everybody in the BKFC was also wearing these. So shout out to Wesley Kill Eagle
Yep.
because it's still September.
Yes.
Don't be shy, man. You know how to get a hold of us. We would love to work with you in the future, and we thank you for your time.
Thank you.
No, man. Thank you guys for having me once again, man. And it's been great talking to you guys. Anytime, man. You got my number. I got yours. So just hit me up.
Any sponsors you want to shout out? Real quick?
All right, boys. Have a good day.
Before you close out,
Start up with Florida Yachts International, FYI, Cigarette Racing, which is connected with FYI and Top Gun. Those are my three major sponsors: Divino Ceviche, 1-800-INJURED, Miami Made Bulldogs. I have so many, my brother. I don't want to continue to not leave nobody out, but
He's got his whole
get ready
banner
for my
right
fights. And DGM, that always dresses me for my fights, with the shoes from Virtuous Boxing, man. And, to all the other sponsors that I have not mentioned, always in my heart, and very grateful for you guys having me on my corner, And thank you guys again. All right?
Okay.
Speak soon.
Sir. Thank you.
thanks, man.
All right, guys. Take care.
20 past 4 and Jamie Tate Marks.
All right.
We are Weekly Buff.
Have a good day, man.